Hello, warriors, and welcome back. Today, I'm walking through 5 mistakes we make when we set goals. And here's a clue: we're doing too much. Hi, I'm Nile Harris, a life strategist, business consultant, and speaker, working with growing and transitioning entrepreneurs and professionals to break the habit of waiting and make the jump to pursue your passion and purpose with a plan. And today I'm talking about goal setting, or rather 5 mistakes that we all make when we're setting goals. And here's the hint: we need to do less. But before I dive into that, please follow me and subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on the alerts so you know when I post new content. And follow me and join the discussion at I am Nile Harris on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and also connect with me on LinkedIn. Now let's get into it. 5 mistakes that we are making when we are setting goals. And here's the thing: we do too much. It is the sum of small things that lead to big outcomes. Now, I'm going to talk to you about my dog, Bueller. She is 16. I can't believe she's 16, going on 17, and she's still getting after it, but she needs a little bit of help when she's walking. So I got her this handy nifty walker wheelchair thing that she uses, and she doesn't need it to walk normally, but she needed more exercise that she was getting because she still thinks she's a puppy, and this allows her to walk further. Well, it comes in pieces and it allows you, it's custom made for the pet. Shout out to caninecarts.com. It's custom made for the pet, and the thing is, you can adjust it once you get it. So I had put it together and we went out for a walk, and she was struggling just a little bit. I made a minor adjustment and then she took off. And that small change led to such a big outcome. And that's something when we are looking at our goals and setting goals, or even when we're tracking our progress toward goals, we could do a better job of celebrating those small things and taking our goals and breaking them down into smaller chunks so we can actually accomplish more by doing less. So here is mistake number 1. Go big or go home. This is me right here. When I set a goal, it's an annual goal, right? I'm going to accomplish this by the end of the year, and it's a massive goal. So I'm going to read 24 books by the end of the year. And it starts off really strong and I'm going for it. And then it starts to become overwhelming. I'm like, okay, I've read 2 books. Gosh, I have 22 more books to go. Rather, what we should do instead is set smaller goals, and it gives us actually more time to celebrate our wins along the way. So instead of saying I'm going to read 24 books in a year, it is I'm going to read 2 books in a month, every month, or I'm going to read 6 books every quarter. Whatever it is, just break it down into smaller chunks. So the sum of the small things leads to me ultimately reaching my goal. And what could also potentially happen is you might exceed the goal because you're so focused on your smaller steps that, okay, I can actually read 3 books this month. Okay, I can read 4 books. And then you find that you build your motivation and your willpower, because willpower is a muscle. And by taking these bigger goals and breaking them down into smaller chunks, we can exercise that willpower muscle rather than looking at it as the goal being 12 months away, or maybe it's a goal for how much revenue you want to make for the year. Break it down into months, break it down into quarters. Mistake number 2. We compare our results to other people. Now, here's the thing. I've said this before and I will say it again. The hustle is never televised. People are not putting their mistakes out there on Instagram or Twitter or social media on their websites. They're showing you their highlight reel, which is great. And it's something that you can potentially aspire to in terms of looking at who are your heroes. I call them heroes, or examples of people who are where I want to be. But what we do is we tend to look at people who are further along in their journey and say, gosh, I'm not there. And then it actually will erode that willpower muscle, and it will erode motivation, and it's demotivating, it's uninspiring. So we need to stop looking at people who are farther ahead of us in comparison and look at them as more as an example. And then when you want to look to comparison, look at it as benchmarking. So you should surround yourself with people who are where you're trying to do. Like, if you're trying to lose weight, join a gym or a group, an online group, a meetup, whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. When I was trying to train for the 4-day hike to Machu Picchu, I joined a walking group around Nashville, and I didn't compare myself to other people who had done the 6-day hike to Machu Picchu, or people who had done the 4-day hike to Machu Picchu 5 times. I just focused on my group, where I was in my journey, and I had aspirations, but I didn't compare myself. I saw them as examples or heroes. Mistake number 3 is that we abandon the goal altogether rather than change the goal. Now, what I mean is, maybe when I set my goal in the first place, it wasn't achievable. So when we set goals, they should be SMART, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So reading 24 books in a year is all of those things, but maybe it wasn't achievable. And instead of saying, I can't read 24 books in a year, I'm just going to stop, I can adjust the goal, and it's okay. Once you get sort of that feedback loop and that information of why maybe you missed the goal, or why maybe it wasn't achievable. Maybe you thought you had more time than you thought you would, or maybe it's just more effort than you thought it was going to take, and you just underestimated that amount of effort. And it's okay. Don't beat yourself up about it. Adjust the goal using data-driven decision. Adjust the goal and keep going, correct and continue. And if you want to set a similar goal next year, so maybe my goal next year, I adjust this year to it being 16 books this year, and then next year I can adjust it based on information and data from this year, adjust my goal next year to 20 books in a year. It's okay to adjust the goal. It is not okay to abandon it completely. You set that goal for a reason, and I believe you have every ability to achieve the goal, even if it's just modified. And it's okay to modify goals. We feel like sometimes if we modify the goal, we've lost, and we've failed because we've modified the goal, and that's not the case. Modifying the goal is part of actually a best practice in achieving goals and goal setting. Mistake number 4, and you might not have heard this one before, but this is something that has impacted me, and I see it impact others. So mistake number 4 is that we consider a dream deferred to be a dream denied. Let me say that one more time. We consider a dream deferred to be a dream denied. What do I mean by that? Maybe your goal was to get promoted by the end of the year or after your next performance evaluation, and you had an excellent evaluation, and there just was not an opportunity for you to have the promotion at that time. Maybe there wasn't a position available. Maybe it just wasn't in the budget. Whatever the reason, it wasn't available for you at that time. And rather than looking at or even probing and asking, why is it not this time? Or when can I expect a a promotion? What do I need to do? If I met all of the requirements, then what's a reasonable time frame? And then resetting our expectation around that new time frame. Instead, what we do sometimes is we say, well, it just wasn't for me. The universe doesn't want me to achieve. God doesn't want me to achieve. Everybody is against me. When in fact, sometimes we're denied things because something better is coming. And the universe is always at work. And the law of attraction is actually a real thing. And when we put out into the universe that we want a certain thing to happen, the universe will respond. But sometimes the universe responds with something greater than we actually imagined. So maybe you wanted a promotion. There was a title promotion. Maybe you're going from being a manager to a senior manager, or director to a senior director. But really, the promotion that's coming for you, that the universe is planning for you, or maybe there are other people who are planning it for you, sponsors, advocates, mentors. They're planning a bigger promotion, and that they just can't tell you that yet. I know that's happened to me, where I was in a role and I wanted that next level, that senior level. And there were things going on with my manager and sponsors that I was completely unaware of. And when it came back to me, they said, we know that you asked for this, but we actually want to offer you this. It was more money and it was a higher level, and it put me on track to a greater position later, to help me achieve my greater career aspirations. So sometimes we get so laser focused on what's right in front of us that we think when our desire is deferred, that it is denied. And I want you to know that that's not necessarily always the case. Probe, ask questions, understand, and then exercise a little bit of patience. And you might just find that what you wanted is on its way. And a great story is, I was having a conversation with a mentor. This was some years ago. I was probably, somewhere between, early career to the midpoint of my career. And I was experiencing frustration in the position I was in at the time, working in strategy. And I wanted more responsibility. I wanted this, I wanted that. And I was talking to my mentors, I was expressing this, and he asked me, Nile, how do eagles wait? And how do chickens wait? And this is so out of the blue. And I said, well, eagles are, they sit on a peak and they wait to spot their prey, and then they swoop down and grab their prey. And chickens, they just sort of peck at the ground. They just sort of run around pecking at the ground and doing whatever. And he said, I want you to wait like an eagle, because sometimes there are things going on behind the scenes. And right now, he's like, look at it as the Bulls, right? Look at it as Michael Jordan, and you're playing the Bulls. And your coach has asked you to guard Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan is going to outplay you, hands down. He's faster, he's better, he's everything. But right now, as the coach, I'm working on something, and I need you to get in there and guard Michael Jordan. And just get in there and guard Michael Jordan. And my mentor is explaining this. I wasn't exactly sure where he was going with this, right? But he told me, get in there and just guard Michael Jordan and trust that the coach was working on a better position for me afterwards. But some things had to happen. And wouldn't you know it, I waited like an eagle. I guarded Michael Jordan, and I got the exact position that I wanted, better than I thought it was going to be. It was a higher level than I had expected. And with a sponsor, with a person who was a sponsor, I didn't even know they were a sponsor. So gosh, and all of this is to say, I want you to understand that deferral is not denial. Mistake number 5, this leads right into it. We mistake waiting for patience. Now, I know I just got done telling you to wait like an eagle, not like a chicken, but at some point, patience does become waiting. And it might be a little bit hard to distinguish the two. So let me clarify what I mean by patience and waiting. Patience is more of the quality of how you wait. You can wait impatiently and get agitated and angry and frustrated and defensive, or you can wait patiently and gracefully and quietly and doing your work and waiting for whatever it is that you're expecting. Now, why I believe mistaking waiting for patience is the 5th mistake we make when goal setting is because at some point, patience runs out. At some point, we have received a denial, right? Life doesn't always end the way that we want it to. Maybe the denial is actually, for something else. Again, deferral versus denial, but maybe our deferral shows itself as denial in one area so that we can move to another area where it's supposed to be. So what I mean by maybe our denial of a promotion in one company is meant to move us to another company that gets us to the goal that we're trying to achieve. So still deferral, but in the moment, it's a denial from one person, right? Sometimes it takes 10,000 no's to get to one yes, but that one yes is all you need. But when does patience become waiting? Patience is expectation. If we're waiting in line to get our coffee, we are waiting patiently because we know at some point it'll be our time to place our order. We'll place our order, and then we know that we're going to get our order at some point, hopefully pretty quickly, within about 5 to 10 minutes. Maybe 10 minutes is too long, but we're waiting because we have an expectation. We've done our part, we've made action, and now we're waiting for the counter action, which is in return. If you have been waiting patiently for the counter action, so let's say after your performance review, which was excellent, and they say, hey, we can't promote you right now, and you've done sort of that digging to understand why not right now. Do I need to do something else? Is it a budget thing? Are there some things behind the scenes that are going on that I can't know about? If it's been 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, and it's still, we can't promote you, and there is no expectation set on when that can happen or even what you need to do, but you're just sort of hoping that things will change, you keep doing your part, and whatever your part is. So even if you had an excellent performance review and you weren't told that you need to do additional things to get promoted, but you go start doing 5 additional things, you take on all of these projects, and you come back and you say, well, I did these 5 additional projects, can I get promoted? No. And it's 6 months, and it's 12 months, and it's 2 years. And so patience becomes waiting when the expectation is no longer there. When the symbiotic relationship is you've done action and now you're waiting for a counter action. When that is no longer there, then you're waiting. And you're waiting for your life to happen. You're waiting for the joy. When what happened really was your denial here in one place was supposed to move you to a different place. And you've been waiting, maybe out of fear, maybe out of loyalty, misplaced loyalty, maybe out of hope, whatever it is, you've been waiting to take action toward the goal. So now you can't achieve the goal because you're waiting for that expectation to be met, when reality is that expectation is not going to be met, and now you're just waiting. And what I want you to do is break the habit of waiting and make the jump. And it's not as easily done as I just said it, but it becomes a habit. and it becomes painful. And you would be surprised, though, that we bury that pain and we can bear a lot of pain out of fear of alleviating that pain. But at some point, your fear and your comfort, right? Fear and comfort don't live in the same place, will not last. You may become sick and tired of being sick and tired. You may become more fearful to stay in a situation than you are to leave a situation. And that will ignite that warrior spirit. That's why I call you warriors, because within you is the warrior spirit. But you cannot wait. The more you wait, the more you lessen and silence that warrior. The warrior, good news, never goes away. We just have to reignite it. So that's it. Those are the 5 mistakes that we make when we are goal setting. And again, this is about the sum of small things leading to big outcomes. If we do less, it will actually lead to more. So do smaller goals, and don't compare your results. Have examples, but benchmark within a group of your peers. Don't abandon the goal. Modify the goal, make it smaller, make it more achievable. It might not have been achievable, but modify the goal based on data. Don't consider a dream deferred to be a dream denied. It might be moving you to make the jump to something else. And lastly, stop waiting. Break the habit of waiting, because everything that you want, everything you desire is on the other side of fear and waiting. So that's it. I hope to see you on my Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at I am Nile Harris. And I hope we can connect on LinkedIn at Nile Harris. Turn on the alerts and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I will catch you back here again soon.